Hey everybody, clearing. All right, this is going to be a DM check-in. We're going to look at how do the DMs feel that they are doing on this journey, handling the journey, the stresses, the triumphs, the breakthroughs. How do they feel they're handling it? Then we're going to see what do they feel, or how do they feel they're handling their divine feminine. So we've got one deck for the journey itself, one for how they are handling the connection directly as it relates to their feminine. Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. How are the DMs feeling they are handling the connection with their feminine? What are the energetic awarenesses that the masculines are having as related to each of the aspects? We're going to see how are the emotions, the DM's emotions, relating to these different aspects. And what do the divine feminines need to know about what we'll see here? Okay, so how do the DMs feel they are handling the journey as it relates to these connections? Wheel of Fortune. It's their lucky day. They feel like they've won the lottery. They actually feel like their DF is such a treasure. This journey of consciousness, it finds you, right? It's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And this connection has come in as a gift from the divine. They love their divine feminine as though they created their divine feminine and sat down with God and created their divine feminine. That's how blessed they feel to have this perfectly suited journey and counterpart. How do they feel they are doing regarding that with their feminine? They feel they've got it covered. The world, they have all the bases covered here. They feel like because they're in this energy of gratitude that they've got it kind of dialed. What is the energetic awareness they're going through right now? Spiritual strength, virtue, and valor. Okay, so these DMs feel like they have aligned with divine will. They're in the lens of gratitude about the whole thing. They feel they can show up as their divine feminine's everything, and that their divine feminine is their everything, and they are, in this stabilizing motion where they're experiencing their spiritual strength and seeing themselves confident, resilient, victorious, having valor, nobility, righteousness in the connections. What are the emotions here? Love. I commit to the practice of seeing good in all things. DMs are aligned. Wow. So it really just takes that click of perception to go from victim blame to there's a divine thing rolling out. Let me have eyes to see that. And these masculines have had that paradigm shift that goes from ego to greater picture. What do the feminines need to know about this? This is what is required for equal give and take, reciprocity. So feminines, don't get ahead of, don't hold the past against. This is about being ever present in the moment and stepping stride for stride in these connections at the pace they can match stride for stride. It's not about getting ahead. You may have felt the potential, but now fall in love with the timing of mutuality. Do not put yourself in a wobble by seeking to be further ahead than is warranted. Really let your masculine lead this. They are in alignment with divine timing. They do feel like they can match you now. They are experiencing this confidence. They have love as the focus. Now, watch for those things that are actually balanced here. This is phenomenal. Blessings to all in this energy. What are the masculines conscious of regarding the connection specifically, or their feminine? Yeah, oh, bang, bang, the world. So this is what we got as far as how they are viewing these connections, like perfect match, perfect match, perfect match, perfect match. Capiche, capiche. We've got perfect match. We've got consistency. So everything about the connection is perfect for these masculines. Everything about their divine feminine, perfect for these masculines. How are they feeling they are interacting, relating, conveying this to their feminine right now? They could do better. They're freeing themselves from holding back, from being all up in their mind. So this is an emerging confidence that's coming out. They've started to see this big picture through the lens of gratitude. So this is freshy fresh, I just heard, for these masculines getting out of gridlock. They now have what is required to meet you on every level, aka success in these connections. What is the energetic awareness? Hydrogen atom. This is the first card in this deck. So it's a brand new. This is even more brand new than the Fool. So consciousness, beginning, and faith. Exactly. Now that they've seen this as divinely aligned, divine timing, higher plan, destined path, winning the energetic lottery to be in these connections. Again, they've come into the readiness to learn from these connections. And now all of a sudden it's a whole new ball game. What is the emotion connected with this? Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So they're no longer judging their divine feminine as something that is to be leery of, too good to be true, not a match, too different, the obstacles, none of that. There's balance here. And this is what is allowing the masculines to say, hey, wait a second, I have everything. I'm seeing a king sitting on their throne, surveying the land, and it is well with their soul indeed. What do the feminines need to know about this? The well. So it has to be the word well with their soul. And feminines, this is an internal process. This is about you having this be well with your soul as well. So if you do not feel that deep sense of peace here, either it's not your masculine, or you need to come up to speed with how you're assessing things, or clear out, do the healing, do the releasing, let it go, figure out what you need to do to bring that well-being fully through, channeled, and in alignment for yourself. What can we see for how the masculines are viewing the heart space of the connection, the overview of the connection in general, steps in the process? This is the 9 of Wands, which is perseverance. There's a goal in sight here. So the masculines view this as a journey. They view it as a journey of love. How do they feel they are doing regarding their feminine in this regard? Well, we get the 9 of Wands to the 10 of Wands. So journey, and getting really close to this passionate new beginning, because the 10 of Wands reduces to the Ace of Wands, which is the most phallic card in the deck, but it's also purpose. There's also a deeper meaning emerging from the rubble. This is like Phoenix energy for these connections. I think somebody wrote in the comments yesterday, how did it go? I'm remembering the part that in the words of an occultist, separation is for the purpose of reunion. And so it's this coming back around full circle. You don't know what you've got until it's gone, but really absence makes the heart grow fonder. Or if you set it free and it doesn't come back, it was never yours. But if it does, it was always yours to begin with. There are lots of things like that in this energy here, where certain karmic burdens had to be cleared. When we come together and it's that amazing chemistry, the bubble love phase, and then real life sets in and we have to go back and clean up the mess that we now suddenly see we have in our life, so we can live in that sweet space the whole time. That's what this burden clearing is. So this looks like we're getting close to the end. The masculines feel like the burden is almost over. What is the energetic awareness here? Seal of individuality, authenticity, uniqueness, integration. So making us who we were always meant to be is what I just heard. So the masculines are becoming aware that this journey is shaping, it's bringing out the best in them and you, divine feminines. This is causing each one to become fully who they are, their soul blueprint, I just heard, greatest, highest calling, gifts and talents. This is really bringing our essence to the forefront. We are who we are through the good times and the bad. And this is revealing, like that sculpture in stone, the essence of who we each are, our character, our integrity, our vision, our intellect, our perception. the way that we connect with the divine to channel. This is revealing our mastery, and the masculines are seeing this energetically. What is the emotion connected with that? Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So there's this deep, deep knowing, because as you both each become who you're very much meant to be, the masculines feel this deep sense of trustworthiness because it's so aligned. We got the world back to back. Like, you are each other's perfect match. And real love is worth making the steps guided to make, and freeing ourselves and listening to that divine timing and surrendering to it, beginning through faith, through consciousness. What do the feminines need to know here? 5 of Cups. Don't cry over spilt milk. Really see this journey as those lessons and blessings as well, feminines, to move you out of codependency, out of ego crutches, out of coping methods, out of insecurity and lack of self-worth and lack of confidence, into an empowered, realized, spiritually included divine being who can manifest anything. What are these masculines aware of consciously regarding the heart space of their feminine? Free will. That no matter what they bring to the table, they see it reflected in you, their sacred mirror. So they know if they bring love, they get love. If they bring sneaky, shady, deaky energy, they get that in exchange. Whatever they put out there, you mirror back to them exactly what they need to see, to be aware of whether they choose, whether they've wanted to. I'm hearing the definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. They may have done that with multiple people, but these divine masculines have focused on their divine feminine, old habits, old ways of interacting, and their feminine has mirrored back the exact response that possibly others who weren't as refined, purified, didn't. Which, of course, those weren't successful relationships. It's not that that would have been superior, but the feminines got through to the masculines. They're the only ones that could have reflected that back in the masculines' faces in a way that would cause them to get the memo without intrusion, without malice, without rudeness. It just is what it is. And so it's very informative, and vice versa, but we're looking at the masculines. So how do the masculines feel they're doing with the heart space connection with their feminine? Oh, heck yes. Same card to clarify, but in the inverse. So they were naive, and now they know a thing or two. Now they're getting, it's getting through to them that what they choose, this is accountability at its finest. This is naive. This is taking accountability for what we offer to somebody, and seeing that what we put in, what we do for self, what we do into the connection, we get back. This is the perfect mirror that offers that. So this is so good. All these readings. What is the energetic awareness that's coming of this? Peace, healing, gentleness, non-judgment. So the masculines are no longer judging the feminines, because now they see this, that it's a reflection of them. And it's just kind of, the feminines are rubber, the masculines are glue. Whatever the masculines do, it bounces off the feminines and sticks to them again. So the masculines are realizing now that you are their mirror. What is the emotion connected with this? Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Exactly. So it's like, oh dear. I'm sorry. I heard corn on cob. But at the same time, it's like the masculines, oh boy. The masculines are really seeing this, that when they don't get the results that they've wanted, that their feminine also doesn't reject them indefinitely, that it's just an opportunity to learn. What do the feminines need to know? This is the truth, the truth, the truth. Stand in your truth, King of Swords. This is, be grounded in your full truth. And don't tell your masculine what they want to hear. Do not try to put yourself in their shoes and tell them something that's not authentic and first person, unique to you. Feminines, don't cave like that. Be that master. Do not lower your vibe to match your masculine. If you're not yet aware of the way that the masculines test without knowing it, come towards without fully understanding their foibles at any given time, just keep holding your truth and it will be revealed. Just like the masculines can be insolvent and the feminines can attempt, that chasing period where the feminines can attempt to come towards the masculines and they are talk to the hand kind of mode. It's because the energy that the feminines are trying to bring is falling short of what the masculines innately know to be the truth. So this is a card of standing in the truth, feminines. And so just trust the love, trust it all, allow it to work its way through. Oh, I know. Okay, I got a blister from mowing lawn. Okay, anyways. What can we see for the manifestations the masculines want to have? They want to blow their whole known universe to smithereens, I just heard. They want to be cosmic. They want to be these high priest energies that are not bound by any earthly paradigms. If they can dream it, they can achieve it, and they want to start thinking in those terms. How do they feel this relates to their feminine? Ooh, okay. So it will be revealed in time. This is a card of karma. So right now, the masculines know they have to level the field with regard to their karma. They have to continue seeking instability until they find stability. So there is still some cleanup. There's still things that the masculines have not let go of. That can be romantic partners, but for many of these masculines, that's not the case anymore. It can be career, it can be living situation, it can be belief structures, it can be circumstances that seem to be out of the masculine's control. It can be anything that's still hanging on in the masculine's energy that they haven't seen the inner workings of. And so they kind of know that they can't fully come forward to divine feminines yet until they understand where they've come from, until they understand the things that don't feel good, but they don't quite know why they don't feel good yet. What is the energetics connected to this manifestation? Bliss, aspiration, realization. Yeah, they want the road to be cleared, paved towards their bliss. And so if there's potholes and speed bumps and things that are still karmic in nature that are holding up that show, they need to deal with those and get going on this inspired path. But they can't have full inspiration until they take full accountability for the things that have to change. They have to they have to find solutions to certain things that are keeping the masculines in their old timelines, in their old paradigms, in their old contracts. That doesn't mean that everything the masculines had going on before these connections needs to end. Just the things that are not healthy, beneficial. What is the emotion connected with this? Surrender. I can release my need to control. So the masculines have been clinging to the familiar and playing small. We have the card of bliss, aspiration, realization, and then releasing the need to control with needing to see the karma. So some of the things the masculines have kept in place are so they could feel in control. So that unfortunately, if masculines do have karmic partners or karmic multiple partners, things like that, a way of looking at relationships that needs to be thrown out. They've been holding up in those familiar patterns because it was easy, because it could be on tap when they needed it. They knew how to access that kind of empowered or false empowerment. The same thing goes with familiar careers or familiar living situations or familiar friend groups. It was dependable. Was it healthy? Not necessarily. So there are certain things that the masculines are realizing are easy to access, but not necessarily beneficial. What do the feminines need to know about this restructuring that the masculines are earnestly going through? This will bring in reunion in time. This is exactly what in the physical the masculines are up to that is preventing this full-fledged reunion in the energy. What are the masculine's actions at this time? Everything is geared towards a brand new beginning. So they really do want to travel lightly. So their wishes are to basically knock out everything that is not coming forward, another layer of that onion, and then to be able to travel lightly. How do they feel this is happening with their feminine? It hasn't fully been integrated yet. Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords, which is the seeing that contrasting karmic energy for what it is. And now there's got to be some more meditation, some strategy, some planning. So the masculines have basically emotionally released, surrendered the need to control and keep those false constructs in there, those I heard baby blankets. Oh dear. Anyways, anything they've been keeping for comfort, they know it's just a matter of time. They don't have an emotional connection to it anymore. They're free from it, but they've still got to let it sink in how that's going to be, how that's going to roll out in the physical, so that there is this rest period before connecting further and communicating. Swords have to do with communication. So before they, oh, I saw those Five of Swords back there and the Eight of Swords. It's like a countdown to the truth coming to light. I just heard with all those swords, eight, and then the five, then the four. So they are making strides towards having a conversation with you feminines about this. But they're not quite ready yet. It still has to sink in. They still want some fruits for their labor, I just heard, so that they can give you the indication that they have actually come up with a new plan, that they have actually finalized certain things from the past. And what is the energetic lesson they're learning here? Timing, rhythm, synchronization, and frequency. Yeah, so they're not sweating it. Again, we saw that Wheel of Fortune about these connections. These connections have taught these masculines to go with the flow of the ebb and flow, the release and the invitation, the surrender, the need to control, and now become these flow masters where harmony, peace, balance, rest, and activation are in an organic flow. So that, yeah, they're learning how to do this, and they know it's not quite time. They don't want to pressure. They don't want to push. They don't want it to create any unnecessary urgency. There's no rush. What is the emotional card? Worry came out in the reverse, but I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. So they're not sweating it. They're not sweating it. They're learning to go with the flow. Sexy AF masculines. What do the feminines need to know? Eight of Wands. Drop into your heart. This is not something that you need from your masculine. These are wisdom teachings that you can just come into balance with. I'm going to say it again. Not all the people you're watching this for, viewer, are your aligned one. Some of the people watching this are going to be watching this for people who you're trying to make it fit because you're so attracted or turned on by them, and it's not based in truth, or they're not treating you right and there's self-worth issues. But for those who, the vast majority of those who are drawn to my readings, this is an inside job. This is you setting your internal masculine polarity, your way of being. If you're a masculine out in the world, or if you're a feminine, this is you knowing what these frequencies feel like, so that you're also, whoever's watching this, is not going to be forcing anything that doesn't just click and isn't just harmonic and balanced and the right timing and in stride, that isn't warranted or justified. Unions come in when we have gone through the motions of understanding each other this way, so that we're actually qualified to say, yes, indeed, this person is healthy for me. I'm healthy for them. This is what this is about, is coming into that level of alignment where you're in alignment with growth, with healing, with aliveness, and you know the difference. You've come into the mastery that can tell the difference. So finding that within yourself on your own, unconditionally, meaning it does not require your masculine showing up for you to already embody these energies of wanting to be free and clear and only mutual. when it's a proper timing, not worrying, just being balanced. So that's the advice, feminines, is really embodying that good on your own. That doesn't mean having resistance about being or having anyone in your life. It also means loving yourself enough to know that if you're exhausted, that if you need rest, if you need more time to figure out your karmic stuff, that you just take all the pressure off and allow that. If you're truly good on your own and this person, and you're not seeing anything coming from this person, that might also mean that it's not your person. Or that you, in some cases, you might need to reach out to said person and put yourself in a position to receive. Sometimes, viewers, you're in the wrong. And it's not just about being stubborn and asking or expecting that they're going to come correct. So there's various different energies. I'm feeling a little bit of all of it, but for the vast majority, it's just a calling in, feminines. It's just feeling into this beautiful aligned energy. And if you really truly are in that alignment, you will know easily and effortlessly what's in your life and what's in their life that still needs to be released. And then you'll know your timeline. Things can't come together until those things get released. And that is about the divine timing in it. Okay, what is the biggest challenge for these masculines? Secrets coming to light. The subconscious coming up. So, this is eating crow. This is a little bit of the frustration still bubbling to the surface about, if I only knew what I know now then. This is, balancing out the ego as this depth comes to the surface. It's just about rolling with it and not having the guilt, shame in that regard. How are the masculines feeling like they are doing regarding their feminine this way? They see it as part of the destined path, the big picture. So they really have a healthy view on that, but it is still a process. It is still tender. It is still energy consuming. When we grow, that's a very consuming state. It requires, think of a plant growing or a tree. It requires input, sun, fertilizer, water. And so it is a focused process, and it's all part of the process. What is the energetic card with that? Growth, multiplication, creation. Yeah, so this is, the masculines are challenged by being in the swing of growth, being in the process of growing. A plant grows before it can throw out a bud and have seeds and fruit and all of that. So there is a period of investment before things come to fruition. And that's the challenge here, is that they are in the active growth stage of their becoming. What is the emotion connected with this? Change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And so this is the movement. This is the internal growth that is required in order for the masculines to receive what they have been given here, this opportunity, this process that is in the swing of happening right now. They can see the potential here. They can see this is more than potential. They can see this is their God-given blessing, but they still have to go through the process of change. Change doesn't happen without change. And so that is the difficult thing. What do the feminines need to know? Emperor. You want your emperor to be fully baked and ready, fully done, ding ding. You want them to be ready for love. What is the solution that the masculines can consciously come to at this time regarding this deep process of change? To really look at separation being an illusion. This is the card of the 5D also, but masculines, it's okay that you find yourself in periods of separation. and to feel the feels. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You don't have to not admit it to your feminine. You can actually express that it's difficult on you. That doesn't mean you're codependent. You can actually tell your feminine you miss them. That does not mean you're codependent. You don't have to be their rock and pretend like you're unfazed by any kind of emotional, mental, physical distance in your connection while you're going through this act of growth. You know, even in nature, I'm seeing a whole stand of trees, but those trees still need cross-pollination. Yes, we can all grow on our own, but we still need to interact in order for these fruits to be bared. And so it's okay. It's part of nature that you should be getting to this stage of readiness, masculines, where you're starting to feel like, I'm just seeing this rose wilting here. That hasn't maybe been pollinated. I don't know. Maybe the masculines are feeling like they're going to miss their chance here a little bit. That's a fallacy, masculines. It's exactly what it's going to be meant, what is meant to be here. But part of the journey, part of right before that cross-pollination is the readiness to be pollinated, and that's the change. All of the karmic things have to be balanced in order for these kind of connections to cross-pollinate. We have to get ourselves into that alignment through the process of growth in order to be ready for that. How do they feel they are doing with their feminine? They're trying to overcome that ego that wants to keep them safe, that's afraid of being hurt, that's telling them all manner of illusions. The ego has this very crazy making way of bringing up all the fears. It's a fail-safe. The ego wants to be neurotic that way in order to make sure, you know, it's like a double checking. So the masculines feel like they're calming that card of worry. They feel like they're overcoming that worry. The Eight of Swords we saw, that is now the masculines starting to acknowledge full-heartedly these connections are perfectly fit for them, perfectly matched and in divine alignment, that these are divine gifts. That is overcoming these devil energies. What is the energetic card? Spine of Fire, true self, passion, motivation, and purpose. I've said for years now that these connections come into union when we know ourselves well enough to be in purpose, generous, and able to be in service, to contribute. When we've come into the wisdom that actually is of benefit, maturity that we can actually offer more into the world without it depleting us, because it's genuine, it's authentic, it is a part of who we have become to freely give as we have been given, energetically, so to speak. So this is a newfound passion, and these masculines, the solution here is coming out of separation, overcoming the devil energies that keep the two locked in gridlock before the developmental changes occur that allow for this alignment to come into the physical. Exponential. When we are aligned with our true self, that uniqueness we saw earlier, that is what actually pairs these two to increased service and contribution together, exponential together. We grow as individuals, and then we gravitate towards that next level of growth with another conscious lever in just the right way for our own soul print. And so, yeah, this is an energetic awareness that the purpose that the two can bring affiliated with each other transcends what can be done alone now. Or, you know, the universe is just pairing these counterparts up. When you get to a level of accountability as individuals, growth is happening. And so you can only continue to grow by coalescing with more like-minded energy, aligned on the heart space energy. And so the universe is conspiring to bring all of this harmonic resonance into being. So the masculines here are seeing this energetic epiphany that these things are coming in. What can we see? The emotion here. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So in the past, the masculines have not felt like they could stick with things. They weren't consistent. They were hot and cold. They were chasing butterflies. They were looking outside themselves. They were tempted by lust, by other opportunities, the grass being greener. They've matured. All of us go through that. Cut them some slack, feminines, and just know this is the way we learn energy. So once we know better, we do better, and it's authentic here. So this discipline is the masculines are seeing themselves with now, they've stuck with things. They're becoming, for many, they are celibate. For many, they are sticking to new routines. For many, they are finding that they can be consistent. This is one of the things that many karmic influences are confused about with all the divine counterparts, is there are new self-directed, self-guided routines, patterns emerging that are taking the counterparts out of the lower vibrational usages of time and affiliations with those who are idle or wasting their precious life force, and not applying themselves, not stepping into their gifts and talents, not rising up in frequency and being low vibe in some way. So the masculines are taking themselves out of that through discipline. They're quitting addictions. They're quitting smoking. They're quitting alcohol. They're quitting other things. They're not using their precious life force energy for things that are not aligned. And this is the accountability that's going to be putting the masculines into more service out into the world. And together with the feminine, it also brings in union, because these lower vibrational patterns and habits that the masculines used to have don't have a space in a contribution template, Oh, it's going to get good. I'm just feeling into it. And here's the moon. So feminines, this process of becoming, of harmonizing with the deep. So this is also the divine feminine. This is really about understanding the divine feminine ways, the yin, the subconscious. The masculines are challenged by this awareness coming to light. So feminines, you are the keeper of this. You are the one that can feel into this and hold this truth, like the King of Swords we got. You're the one who represents this feminine energy in your dynamic. So it's about holding that awareness while your masculine cross-references what they're becoming aware of by this essence that you already are. This helps them continue this process of releasing control and seeing the safety and coming into alignment with the feminine. What is the direction in the near future that the masculines are consciously aware of? Making it known that you are much more than a friend to them. This is my card of friendship, and this, in the inverse, it reduces to the Two of Cups. So for many of these connections, they've been in the friend zone, or they've been in a period of pause for this high priest, high priestess energy to come in. And with that full spectrum, from heightened chemistry attraction to the other end with the spirituality, we can now safely bring these things into a harmonization of both the romance and the spirit. So there is a swing towards acknowledging that from the masculines. They're conscious of this range that the counterparts offer each other. Safekeeping, I heard. How do they feel like they are doing regarding their feminine in this regard? They've got a lot of anxiety about this. I'm actually going to pull some cards from the Hermetic Tarot and ask what they are anxious about. So thank you. Masculines, higher selves, what are you most anxious about regarding the friendship, going into acknowledgement of the love here in a non-platonic way, a romantic way? What are you all anxious about here? About reaching out, about who, what, where, when, why, how it's going to happen. So that may mean that it's not quite time, or that it's more of that surrender to the divine timing, masculines, to allow it to unfold naturally. If you're feeling stressed about it, it might not be aligned to do so. That fell right on this Spine of fire, true self, passion, motivation, and purpose. Wait until it burns in you and you can't hold back any longer, and then just speak from your heart, masculines. What is the energetic card related to this? Linear sequencing, hierarchy, time, and logic. Okay, so yeah, you still are mulling a lot of things over. The contrast between what you didn't know, back then, and what you know now, and how it's all played out. So continue sorting your thoughts. If it feels really anxious to you, masculines, or there's still worry, that means your head and heart are out of alignment. So drop into your heart. What does your heart feel? And now hold your mind's hand, and step it over to the safety that your heart already knows is there. Help your mind come onto the same page with your heart. And that's how you cure anxiety. What is the emotion connected with this? Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So yeah, masculines, you're continuing to face some of the fears here about, going all in once and for all with your feminine here. These are lifetime connections. Once you do come into the anxiety-free, fearless resonance, you'll know it will be of divine timing, it will be warranted, and it will finally be mutual and reciprocal here. But it's not just on you, masculines. You're also feeling the potentials. You might be feeling the pressure in the energy because it's getting closer to being go time, but you may also be feeling some of your feminine's energy. So don't pin it all on you, but you can keep transmuting it by looking at what's causing you anxiety and moving that into alignment with your heart. Manifestations happen as quickly as you can bring your thoughts into validation of your heart. As soon as you can find an aligned way of thinking of what your heart is already telling you, you have your manifestation. It's that simple. What do the feminines need to know about this? The sun. We got the sun and the moon here, both in the inverse. This is the grand rising, the grand becoming. This is the cosmic alignment that's coming in. Let's see. One more card from this deck. Oh, we're going to go from those. Sounds good. Okay, divine feminines that have watched this. One card, please, for the divine feminines. One card. Oh my goodness. Nope, it's like 20. These are very large cards. Okay, one card. Divine feminines. Synergy. Okay, this one landed on the divine feminine side. So frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of the not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. You know it's your aligned one if you are blowing it out of the water, all the angst of the past, all the confusion. You're starting to see clearly, you're growing, you're loving more deeply, you're seeing things in ways you've never seen it before, like the hanged one energy. You're having epiphanies that really promote new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. That's so growth induced. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a whole new reality. Yes, feminines. So there are lots of positives to the angst and the frustration that can be there at certain times in the journey. But when we sit with that and open to the higher understanding, the hanged one perspective, in that moment, we get the truth that sets us free. And then all of a sudden we see something that we've never had modeled. We become that trailblazer. We become confident. We become empowered. So keep doing that. Keep looking for the synergistic, the momentum in all of the things you experience. Sometimes we have to let go of things that are not matching us on a higher frequency, and sometimes we need to shift our perception to see the high frequency interpretation in ways that we were missing. Okay, and for the masculines, commitment. The frequency of commitment supports our ability to devote ourselves in all aspects of our being and with unwavering belief. Yeah, masculines, you are so absolutely blessed to be so masterful that you do not want to bring these connections in until you can have the ultimate success, until you can love your feminine right. Right, the right way, masculines. You're the ones who can love a feminine right. The right way. Right way, masculines. Masculines doing it right. About time. Feminines, isn't it about time that we have all these incredible, incredible masculines that want to give us what we need? And vice versa, masculines, your feminines cannot wait to give you what you need for the rest of our lives. Oh my goodness, for the rest of eternity. Many blessings. Bye for now.